Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Tuesday. Always excited for Tuesdays. You know why?
Why?
Because we have Tuesdays with Charlie. Now, for those of you that never heard Tuesdays with Charlie, you got to listen later in the program. We talked to my father-in-law. Now, he's just a regular guy, but that's what makes it fun.
Right.
Every Tuesday, we get a little wit and wisdom from a guy that's losing his wit and wisdom. So, no, it's always fun to chat with him and give him a little bit of guff. So tune in for that later in the program. A lot of other fun stuff, too. Hey, this was kind of an interesting story I'd never heard of. Have you ever heard of Thomas More? King Henry VIII, that was his chancellor, and one of history's most famous martyrs. The king ordered him beheaded because More wouldn't violate his conscience in order to do what the king was telling him to do.
Okay.
And he was known to be very verbose. He would get up and speak, and he would speak quite a bit. I know someone that's like that.
That would be you.
That's me, yeah. So when he was ordered to be beheaded, the king told him, hey, when you're on the executioner's block, I don't want you to be long-winded. But Moore had plenty to say and talked for a long, long time. And why not? What are they going to do, kill him? He was going there to be killed anyway. I thought that was really funny.
But why wouldn't they just kill him? He was on the executioner's block. Why, if they wanted him to quit talking, just kill him and cut him short.
That's kind of what they did. And I think that's where the phrase cut him short came from.
Cut him off?
Yeah. So there you go. You beat me to that. Anyway, coming up here in a bit, we got a funny story from the Cold War. It's very rare to say that, but it's actually quite humorous. On the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
During the Cold War, I was reading this story here. It's actually kind of funny. During the Cold War, the British and American troops built what was thought to be the longest tunnel ever constructed for the purposes of spying. Now, they began in West Berlin. They dug 1,476 feet underground. They were trying to get into East Berlin, and they were going to tap into underground cables used by the communists to send messages. Now, intelligence agencies don't talk much of this tunnel because it was a bit of a blunder. Both countries, to this day, have tried to keep this fact out of the public eye, but it is a true story.
They met in the middle?
Well, when they got this thing finished, they popped a little hole up, and they wanted to peek around and see, where are we? And they didn't see the Berlin Wall. Instead, they saw the Eiffel Tower. They ended up in France.
Oh, my gosh.
They were heading towards, they were trying to go to the Berlin Wall and, get underneath, and they went the wrong way, and they ended up in France.
Oh, funny.
Oh, that's where, kids, stay in school. I'm just saying, learn some stuff. Coming up, we got a really fun story about some instant gratification. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
We kind of live in a society where we want things, and we want things now.
Yes.
I mean, there are people that get very, very disgruntled if their pizza isn't there in 30 minutes. Well, they quit making that promise, remember?
Yes.
Because they had problems with that. But we want it now. We have drive-through windows all over the place. Well, one lady took instant gratification to a completely different level. In our fast-paced society, we have difficulty waiting for things. And Jillian Kennedy of Bristol, England, decided she just didn't want to wait any longer for the furniture that she ordered. She took matters into her own hands. After being told the dresser that she ordered 10 weeks ago still was not in, it was on back order from Malaysia, she stormed the furniture store. With a screwdriver in hand, she spent 30 minutes taking apart the display model of the dresser she wanted. She put the pieces in her car. Walking out the door, she yelled to the staff, "Don't you dare try to stop me."
Oh.
And they didn't. She was not charged with anything other than, hey, when the new one gets in, I guess we'll put that on the floor.
We'll put that one on the floor. Well, I mean, she paid for it, so it's not like she stole anything.
I am done waiting. I want my dresser. I gave you the money 10 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So she was frustrated. I don't know if I've ever been quite that disgruntled where I would go in and dismantle furniture and take it home. I know I've been disappointed on things.
You've gone in and dismantled a Whopper and thrown it all over the countertop.
Well, that was a whole different story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was way worse.
I don't like onions. I was very disappointed because I said no onions, no tomatoes, and I got it with onions and tomatoes. But on the wrapper, it said no onions and no tomatoes.
He was mad.
What? It says right here.
And we had the worst part is we got it through the drive-through, and then he saved it for 2 hours till the show we were going to
a concert. Yeah.
And then when that was done, then he went back.
There's a whole new shift of
and
people
took
working.
It inside, started throwing tomatoes and onions across the countertop.
I was taking them off and placing them gently.
You did not. I watched you. I was so embarrassed. I was in the car. I could see from the car, and I knew it was a bad situation.
Have it your way. I had it my way. There you go. Let's move on.
It was bad.
We've got, all this nonsense we just talked about, but the whole lady, instant gratification, getting her furniture. That's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. This is another one of those, what was he thinking kind of stories. Authorities in Northern California reported that they busted Stephen Coburn for mailing marijuana thanks to a return address on the package. Investigators say Mill Valley man mailed a half pound of pot through private shipping companies, but he forgot to put the address on it. In accordance with procedures, workers opened the package to see if there was a label maybe on the inside instead when they discovered marijuana inside. They called the police, of course. He's been released on bail after being charged with suspicion of drug possession for sale. And it says here that since he used the post office to send it, it becomes a federal offense.
Yikes.
So, yeah, good job there, Steve. That's what happens when your brain's on drugs, buddy. Don't do that anywhere, but certainly don't do that through the mail. So he was mailing marijuana out.
Not a good idea.
Often stuff like that happens and you don't get caught.
I bet quite a bit.
Yeah, that's crazy. So this guy got in trouble for it. It's a bad idea, so don't do that, kids. Coming up, we have your moment of duh.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
If you're planning on playing paintball, make sure your targets know that they're playing too. In Mercedes, California, John McKay and Juan Gonzalez and Nicole Cox and a 16-year-old friend were having a great time playing paintball. Not having a great time were the people walking by that were shot several times at random.
Gosh.
Not having fun, 4 paintball-playing friends. One person they shot turned out to be Mercedes County's top prosecutor, District Attorney Larry Morris II.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
He was apparently an unintended target. He was shot in the back. He was uninjured and unamused, and he chased the suspects down. He's going to prosecute them on felony charges of conspiracy and misdemeanor battery. So,
yeah, well,
they were playing.
You can't shoot people that don't want to be shot.
No, they were playing and having fun, and they decided, hey, let's shoot these people that are walking by, too.
Not funny.
Don't do that. Now, it's one thing if it's an accident, but it doesn't sound to me like this was an accident.
Sounds like they were looking to cause some problems.
Trying to, hey, let's shoot these people walking by.
Well, good. Yeah. Go get them.
So they shot the wrong man.
Teach them a lesson.
Coming up in a bit, we have your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. A German woman is grateful for her brassiere after she rode her bicycle through a boar hunt, and the underwire deflected a hunter's bullet.
What?
Yeah. So let me repeat that.
First of all, why is she riding a bicycle through a boar hunt?
She was riding her bicycle in Germany, and they happened to be having a boar hunt that was going on, and a shooter shot at the boar, missed the boar, and hit the underwire in her brassiere, and that deflected a bullet. That is crazy. Can't even imagine.
Must have been one heck of an underwire. My underwire bras wouldn't stop a bullet.
Well, you need to get better underwire bras. All right, McDonald's is rolling out self-service. They're in the news for a couple things. First of all, the whole McDonald's breakfast whenever
time.
I don't know when they're doing it. I thought they were doing it when they announced it, but it's like, no, we're going to do it, but we're doing it later. So someday in the future you may. And then I was hearing that it's not everything for breakfast, it's a few things. Kind of sounds to me like they're going, hey, you know what? That was a good idea, but we don't really want to do everything we said. So that's something's coming out on that. But now they're talking about this. They have some bad press because they have these self-service kiosks in different restaurants across the U.S. that allow customers to order their food without having to interact with a human. According to Yahoo, the touchscreen technology is meant to speed things up and help the ordering process and give people more control over customizing their food while reducing the opportunity for human error. And now McDonald's is getting all kinds of flack. They're saying, well, these are jobs that are going away. So they have a video. You can watch the video if you want. It's online. I shared it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. You can watch a little video on there where they're trying to say, well, it's not really removing any jobs. It's just to help speed things along. And then eventually it'll be like, well, yeah, look at all the people we didn't have to hire now because of these things. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. A new survey finds that a quarter of all people who take a briefcase or something similar to work have something in it for self-defense. So if you're carrying a briefcase or a laptop case or some sort of case to work, 1/4 of all people that carry said case to work have something in there for self-defense. What do you have in yours, Heidi?
I don't have a briefcase.
I'm going to get you a briefcase. If I gave you a briefcase, what would you put in it?
I would put one of my guns in it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. All right.
I know an awesome woman that came to us with us to an event, and she had just one of those note-taking binders that has a zipper on it. Just a regular, it was like for a notepad, just a regular thing. She had 2 Glocks in there.
What?
2.
Wow.
One in the front little pocket thing, and then another one underneath the tablet.
We'll have to chat after. I don't know who that is. I'm going to find out.
It was awesome.
When it comes down to it, a lot of the time you may be not be motivated to get up at 5 in the morning to hit the gym. Well, your daily routine is about to change with a new fitness tracking wearable thing called a Pavlok. It's a device that will actively punish you for failing. At first, it starts with vibrations, then it quickly advances to a small alarm, and if you're too stubborn, it'll actually shock you. So if you're saying, I just really need to get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym,
yikes! I wouldn't want to be shocked awake.
You can lock this bracelet onto you, and it will vibrate, and then it'll chirp, and then it'll start shocking you.
I don't like that at all.
Hey, Christmas idea for our son. That's one way to make sure he gets up. If you're lonely, stop wasting so much time online. If you want to meet real people, you're supposed to get a dog. Turns out that 1 in 4 dog owners have met their dates while walking their dogs. 1/3 of them have at least made one new friend, and dog people are really good when you take your dogs with you. Dogs are good people meters. They can tell if it's a good person or a bad person. So
always trust your dog.
Yeah. Trust your puppy because they'll tell you if they're good people or bad people. 40% of dog owners say they think twice if their pets don't like the date that they're bringing home.
Right.
Like it's really working out great, but my dog just doesn't like him or doesn't like her.
Right.
There you go. Now, your strange law. In Newark, New Jersey, it is illegal to sell ice cream after 6 p.m. unless the customer has a note from his doctor.
What?
That's in Newark, New Jersey, known as the happiest place in the world. Wait a minute. It's not known as that? Maybe it's because of this law. That's probably what it is.
I'm sure your doctor would be thrilled to be bothered,
yeah,
too.
Can I get a note? I'd like some ice cream.
I need ice cream.
All right. That's your strange law. And this has been your Scoop of the Day. Tuesdays with Charlie is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Right now it's time for one of my favorite things that we do around here. We pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie. How you doing, Charlie?
Are you sure today's Tuesday?
It is. I double-checked.
Like Tuesday comes around about every 3 days.
Well, it's that's because you love talking to us so darn much.
I don't think that's it.
No. It's something like that anyway.
Something like that, yes.
So what are we going to learn about today, Charlie?
Okay, you ever put your hand in your pocket and you pull out that lint that comes out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
You know that has a name?
Oh, is it called pocket lint?
No.
Oh, what's it called? What's it called?
It's I think it's pronounced Nur.
How do you spell it?
Gnurr.
Nur.
Oh.
And I think the G silent.
Well, there you go.
So you've been pulling out a bunch of Nur out of your pocket.
And I think that G should stay silent.
Hey, I think I told you this just a while back, but I'm going to tell it again to you anyway.
Okay.
The old billy goats.
Yeah?
You know, we all love billy goats.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we do. They urinate on their own heads to smell more attractive to females.
Yes, we did talk about that.
That's disgusting.
That's got to be pretty hard to
I'm not
on your own
exactly
head.
sure how they do that. There must be some sort of yoga
maybe
involved.
maybe
or-
it's a trick because if they have that ability, that maybe that's the part that makes them a little more attractive to females.
the female Billy Goat's like, hey, baby,
They're all over there saying, "Hey, look at that guy.
how did you do that?
I want to meet him."
Yeah.
Did you know that Bob Hope, you know him,
Yeah.
and you know Billy Joel,
Yeah.
they were both boxers?
Oh, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that they were both boxers.
I didn't know that.
Teddy Roosevelt was also a boxer. Not a professional boxer, but an amateur boxer.
I wonder if Bob Hope could kick his.
I don't know.
That'd be a battle to see.
There you go. That would be. Charlie.
Okay, here we go. People with higher incomes
Yeah.
generally prefer their toilet paper to come over the roll on the top,
I prefer
while those with lower incomes prefer it to go underneath.
it over the top,
And
and
I
I
pref-
am of lower income, so I don't know quite how that study
I
works out.
prefer it under the bottom there, like the lower income folks. So that apparently explains us.
Well, we're kind of a split house too, so
Yeah.
You're an
whoever
under
loses
guy?
out.
Do you like yours over or under, Charlie?
I like mine under.
No, it's
See,
got to
you
be
go.
over.
Yeah, she goes over. That's fine. I leave it.
I'll even fix it at other people's houses. If I go to their house and it's on wrong, I turn it around.
By the way, you're welcome.
I think she gets that from her mother.
Probably.
Hey, then did you know that a bull can inseminate 300 cows from a single ejaculation?
Whoa.
Wow, that's a lot.
But can he urinate it on his own head?
No, he can't.
It's one busy
Kind of
bull.
jealous of them billy goats.
There you go.
Oh, hey, I got one last thing here for you.
Okay, what's that?
We're keeping her short today.
Okay.
The average American butt.
Yeah.
Look behind you. It's right there.
There, yeah.
It's 14.9 inches long,
14.9 inches long. From top to bottom?
top to bottom.
Huh.
Now, you're going to go in there and measure yours right now. aren't you?
He probably will.
I know he will.
How wide is the average? I think I'm above average on that.
They'd be looking around there for a ruler.
We got a tape measure.
We
I'm
got a
set.
measuring tape, yeah.
Hey, where you going, John? Oh, never mind. I'm going to the bathroom.
I'll be back in a minute. Hey, I got a question for you, Charlie. This was sent in, and we've got an opportunity, folks. If you want to ask Charlie a question, every week we pick one of the emails. And this question this week was: the average person goes to the bathroom how many? See, they're starting to figure you out, Charlie. The average person goes to the bathroom how many times in a day?
Well, like I've always said, me and you are above average.
Yes, we are above average.
I'm going to say the average guy goes 4.
No, 6 times a day.
I would have guessed
6.
6.
Yeah. The average person goes to the bathroom 6 times a day. So now they are dialed into what you're into, Charlie. The questions I've noticed lately are all either about beer or about bathrooms.
They're like, hey, we
Getting
get this
there.
guy. We get him.
I think I figured out the code. Charlie might know this. If you've got a good
Like that.
question, we can ask Charlie next week. Send your question to Charlie at johnandheidishow.com, and we'll ask your question next week. So that'll be a lot of fun.
You know what?
What's that?
If you're only going to mess around and go to the bathroom 6 times a day, you might as well just stay out of there. That's not even worth your effort.
Beginners. Come on.
Rookies.
I do
Call
that
them
by
rookies.
10 a.m.
And I get up at 9.
Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks for taking the time to visit with us again.
Well, in 3 days, it'll be Tuesday. We'll do it again.
Yeah, there we go. We'll do 2 or 3 more days. And time flies when you're having fun, so you must be having
That's right.
fun.
Bye, Daddy.
Yes, we are. Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there, we talk to him every Tuesday just because we can with a little show we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. Today is Tuesday. It is the 15th day of September, and today is 8-track tape day. I actually have some 8-track
vaguely
tapes.
remember 8-tracks. They were
Vaguely?
they were gone when
when
they
I was
had
a
already
kid.
started going out by
Yeah.
the time I was around.
When I was a kid, we had a vehicle with an 8-track. It was actually a truck with an 8-track tape player, so we used to listen to 8-track
The only
tapes
time
on
I
that.
ever saw 8-tracks was when I was at my grandma's house, and they had one of those giant stereos
Yeah,
with
console.
the lid that lifted up.
Oh, yeah.
And there was an 8-track player in there,
We
but
just got rid of one of those. Remember that?
we did.
Really sad. Hey, Felt Hat Day today as well. So if you have a felt hat today is the day to wear a felt hat. And if you don't have one, just go around feeling people's hats. Then you can say, I felt a hat today. All right, moving on. It's also Get Ready Day, so get ready today. It's Google.com Day, so I don't know if this is the day that Google was launched, apparently.
I don't know.
Maybe. International Day of Democracy. It is International Dot Day, and it's Greenpeace Day. So all of those different things going on. I'm going to celebrate by digging through my 8-track tapes and wishing I had a way to play one of them. I have no way to play.
We don't anymore.
No, we don't. That's going to do it. It is a special day. Get out and celebrate on this Tuesday, the 15th day of September.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
It's the latest idea in combating obesity. Fight fat with fat. You ready for this?
All right.
Researchers at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and the Joslin Diabetes Center, both in Boston, have discovered that brown fat cells, the good kind of fat that burns energy and keeps us warm, may lead to new treatment for obesity. Conventional white fat, that's the bad fat, stores energy. A person who is obese and has large stores of white fat, and researchers think that they can coax the body into making more brown fat, they might be able to help obese people lose weight.
Really?
By having the good fat talk to the bad fat.
So is it a pill?
I don't know what it is. I don't know how they do it, but they're saying, hey, if you can...
But I need to find out.
If you can take some of this bad fat and turn it into good fat, I'm like, how do I do that? Do I eat a different kind of candy bar each day? What do I need to do? Do I need to be gluten-free? If that's what it is, I guess I'll try it. I'm not sure. So they have the answer. They're apparently just not telling us the answer. So what would you say is the weirdest? Because it doesn't say anything on here at all about what you're supposed to eat, but you and I have done diets before. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the weirdest diet you have ever heard of? Have you ever heard of like just a bizarre, what in the world were they thinking when they came up with that kind of idea diet?
I remember doing a grapefruit diet one time where we could eat like tons and tons of grapefruit.
And here's a really sad thing. I don't like grapefruit.
See, now I do, but not in that quantity.
I don't know why they call it grapefruit. It doesn't taste grape at all.
I love grapefruit.
It's a terrible name. Like grape nuts. Why do they call those grape
nuts? You know
what
I really love?
Flavor. What do you love?
Grapefruit juice and vodka.
Oh, yeah. That's
such a wonderful
completely
drink.
Off the topic here. We're talking about diets.
But I'm just saying. I wonder if I could do that diet.
That we had done where it was about eating a lot of meat and a whole bunch of meat. Like we got a bunch of steaks and cooked them. And then
that I didn't like.
We
that
had
was
to cut
too
them into
much
certain
meat.
portions. And then there were several times throughout the day where like our little timer would go off and go, 10, eat some
Time
more
to
meat.
Eat again.
I was so sick of eating. And it
was
funny,
working.
But it was working really well.
But
like
I could not eat that often.
Protein
It
thing.
was so labor intensive to eat that often.
The little thing would go off. We're like, oh, man, we got to eat again. But it did work. So I don't know. They're saying now that you can just get some of this good fat to replace the bad fat and everything's good. Coming up, your Highway to Heaven story. Interesting story. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
We all know the best way to get to heaven, but one man is about to find the fastest way to get to heaven on purpose. Listen to this. It's not exactly the highway to heaven, but an inventor believes that it will work. A wacky German inventor named Bernard Muller plans to get to heaven by catapulting himself to heaven.
Yeah, well, when he lands, that'll work really well.
Wile E. Coyote, I think, is involved in this thing.
This was
man,
Acme Corporation
true story.
Stamped on the side.
The man intends to strap himself into a specially designed catapult, which will send him to paradise. Most people in town think the guy's nuts, but the professor insists that this is a really good thing, and there is a method to his madness. So he's going to catapult himself to death.
He definitely will.
That it's going to catapult him to heaven. Mm-hmm. So I'm not exactly sure what that's all about. But again, this has got Wile E. Coyote written all over it. So this is a true story from German. Bernard Muller is the guy's name. It's a German inventor. Check it out if you don't believe me.
Well, you should muller that over a little more before he actually goes through with it.
Yeah, I don't know when his plan is to do this, but maybe try to avoid that guy. Coming up here in a bit, we got another fun story to share. We got several. Thanks for tuning in on a Tuesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Take a listen to this next story. After 35-year-old Kim Russell of Somerset, England, she was carrying on an internet-based romance, and she planned to finally meet her chat room boyfriend. She was so excited about the rendezvous, she walked out on her husband and 2 children 2 days earlier. So after walking out on her husband and children, she walked into a hotel room to meet this guy for the very first time.
Was her husband?
She immediately collapsed and died right on the spot. She walked in. I don't know why, but, sometimes it's just your time. The coroner's inquest found no evidence of foul play, simply labeled the death as sudden death syndrome.
Wow.
And there are people saying that it was God smiting her for walking out on her family. So I have no idea what happened to her. Kim Russell, Somerset, England. She was having an internet romance with somebody, and she went to finally meet him, left her husband and children.
I thought it was going to be like that Pina Colada song.
No, walked in and, hey, wait a minute.
And it was, hey,
That's
wait
you.
a minute.
You
like walking out on your wife and 2 kids?
There are actually stories where that has
I
happened.
like walking out on my husband and 2 kids.
So, interesting
We
story
should
there.
just stay together.
Coming up, we have 25 signs that you're hearing a lie. That's all on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
All right, Heidi, I've got 25 signs that you're hearing a lie. It is, according to these guys, possible to determine if somebody is lying just by carefully watching for clues. According to Sherry and Bob Streitoff, authors of Your Guide to Marriage on About.com, there's specific verbal and nonverbal cues. Number 1, touching the chin or rubbing the brow, crossing your arms or crossing your legs, playing with your hair.
Okay, but my arms and legs are crossed all the time.
Well, there you go. You're a liar.
And
you're a liar,
I'm
face
always
liar.
messing with my hair.
There you go. See? It's because you're lying
Even when
all
I'm
the
not
time.
talking, I'm messing with my hair.
A line of perspiration on the brow, even if it's not warm, saying no several times, continually denying accusations, being extremely defensive, providing more information and specifics than necessary, inconsistencies in what's being shared, body language and facial expressions that don't match. So you're saying one thing, but you're looking another way. Like when you're saying no, but your head is nodding up and down. No, I don't do that at all. Yes, I do. No, I don't.
Yep.
That probably doesn't translate well. I'm shaking my head while I'm saying that. Being smug, placing a barrier such as a desk or chair in front of you, uncommon calmness, unwillingness to touch your spouse during the conversation. These are all things, again, that lead to the fact that you're a liar, face liar, according to these people. Uncommon calmness. Oh, we already said that. Being hesitant, slouching posture.
Oh my gosh!
These are all. This is like
a lot of these things are just people's general. And what you go, just because you go into somebody's office and they're sitting behind a desk, they're liars.
Wait a minute! You're behind a desk, you liar!
And your arms are crossed.
Liar!
You are a liar.
Slouching posture, differing behavior. What is this? Partial shrug, so you don't shrug a lot, but a little bit. Lack of finger pointing. So what are you supposed to do?
But you're not
if
supposed
you're not
to point.
lying?
I was raised being told you're not supposed to point. So if you don't point, you're a liar.
Unusual voice fluctuations and word choice, sentence structure, stalling a conversation by repetitively using things like ums and you knows. That means everyone I've ever talked to is a bunch of liars.
This is why I don't trust people.
Lack of contractions. Prefer emphasizing not instead of couldn't. Could not. Avoiding eye contact or eye glancing to the right or left. Now, they didn't mention scratching your nose, and that's one of the things that I've heard many times. And I've caught myself, like, when you're asking me if hey, did you get that done? I'm like, yeah, I got that done. Okay, no, I didn't get it done. I'm going to do it now, though. My nose gave me away, didn't it? All right, if you'd like to know more, that's from Bob and Sherry Streitoff, authors of Your Guide to Marriage. I think they're a couple of liars. Hey, we got some good news coming your way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
We always like to end this program with something positive, right, Heidi?
Yes.
So sometimes it's harder than others to find something positive, but take a listen to this story. This is one of those heartwarming, just really neat stories. An 84-year-old man recently completed a 700-mile walk to help raise money for a children's playground in the memory of his wife. It's in a memorial park in Princeville, Illinois. He had this thing built to honor his late wife. According to ABC News, the man, Dean Troutman, purchased 5.75 acres of land in 2011 to establish a park for his community in memory of his wife Dorothy, and her nickname was Peggy Troutman. She passed away in 2010 from Parkinson's at age 79. This guy did a 700-mile walk to raise money to help build this park.
Aww.
That is really cool. And if you'd like to see photos of him, if you'd like to read the whole story, there's a link on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I put that on there because this is one of those things. It's a heartwarming, really nice story. And I encourage you to share that with people because I always try to take these positive stories. I don't know if you've noticed lately. I've been putting those on our Facebook page because I think in social media there's so much negativity. If we can do a little something to brighten people's days, if we can brighten your day, and if you can do that to brighten their day, and we can continue to, pass that on, I think that's a good thing.
Right.
Try to be the silver lining in their cloud
There
of darkness. So check that out. Again, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you again for joining us on a Tuesday edition of the John and Heidi Show. We've got some awesome guests coming up for the rest of the week here. Tomorrow we're going to be visiting with a guy by the name of David Vine. He's got a book called Base Nation, and I'm excited to chat with him. We also have another author on Thursday, Kristen O'Keefe, and there's a book called Dr. Mutter's Marvels, and I've got a copy of the book. It's actually a pretty cool book. And then we've got another author on Friday, the author of the book Dance of the Bones. So we'll be chatting with some authors later in the week. And on Monday, the author of The Beer Bible. So several authors that we'll chat with on the program. Thank you again for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can save time, you can save money. You don't even have to leave your house. You don't have to go to the store. They'll bring the razors right to your door. $3 a month. It's $1 a month for the razors, $2 a month for the shipping. For $3 a month, like I said, you can skip the store. They'll bring them to your door. You can also upgrade and get the better razors for $6 a month, or the bestest razors for just $9 a month. Either way, you're going to save money over the stuff you're getting at the store anyway. So check it out. Save time, save money, and shave like a man. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Take a listen to this story, Heidi. Here's a question for you. Who gives better driving directions, men or women?
Men.
Well, if you want to know, you might want to watch the little video we have posted on our Facebook page. It says, Men versus Women, who gives the best driving directions? A recent video from Modern Marriage Moments points out the difference between men and women's directions, between women's directions and those given by men. So you can see the difference between the two. And then ultimately, it's up to you to decide. Because I can tell you this, she could tell you that. It really is an opinion. But it's funny if you look at the differences between the way women give directions and the way men give
You're definitely
directions.
better at it than I am. I go by landmarks.
So go up here and turn at that tree. I'm like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
I
trees.
go by landmarks, and you go by street names and actual directions, north, south.
Go north and south. You're like, take a right, and then go up there and go left. And when you get up to this place, you go straight again. When you get to this, just keep going straight. I'm like, don't even mention that. They'll just keep going straight. All right. Hey, you can check out the video at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Go check that out. Chocolate is better than fluoride when it comes to keeping your teeth healthy. That's the best news ever. A study from the Tulane University in New Orleans has concluded that cocoa in chocolate hardens your tooth enamel, and it fights cavities and should be considered a natural alternative to fluoride.
Really?
Which has also been shrouded in controversies for decades. The researchers say the university is now exploring ways to incorporate cocoa extract into toothpaste. How awesome would that be? Wake up in the morning and brush your teeth with a little bit of chocolate.
You know what? That's a load of crock because I eat a lot of chocolate.
Yeah.
And I always have cavities.
You got to... There's probably more to the story than that. It's not just...
Just eat chocolate and you'll be fine.
Well, check out the study and see if you agree. Hey, a British study found that the stress at the office raises your risk of heart disease, especially if you're under 50. Researchers found that the chronically stressed workers have a 68% risk of developing heart disease. So skip the stress. Have a good day. Take a picnic. Do whatever you need to do. Get out there and enjoy life. Now, you've probably seen the ads for the energy drink Red Bull. You know, the ones Red Bull gives you wings.
Right.
It's because Red Bull is basically a big can of caffeine. And now in Darwin, England, a 17-year-old boy robbed a supermarket of $17,000 at knife point. And he says it's because he had too much Red Bull and he went crazy. He claims that he had 11 cans, which doctors told the court is more than twice the caffeine needed to cause significant toxic effects, and it possibly created a blur between fantasy and reality. His lawyers say since committing the crime, he no longer drinks Red Bull, and he doesn't have any caffeine for that matter. Justice Stephen Bailey said the caffeine intoxication could explain but does not excuse the crime.
Absolutely not.
The boy was pleading guilty. Judge Bailey gave him a 4-year suspended jail sentence. So quite the...
So is he on probation or anything?
I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. But it sounds like he turned his life around. He doesn't do that anymore. So that's good. 34-year-old salesperson was
not
caught...
good for him anyway.
No, not at all. A 34-year-old salesperson was caught driving down a Swiss motorway while she was using her laptop computer and chatting on a mobile phone. Police in Switzerland said the driver, she was unaware of any wrongdoings and responded that she was, I'm just driving like I always do. Police in the town of St. Gallen said in a statement, the police pulled her over and they saw her zigzagging all over A3. It's the motorway near the town of Merg. The woman was remanded to magistrate court because of her unreasonable behavior. So she was on her cell phone with one hand, and she was using her laptop computer with the other hand. How was she steering?
And how was she looking at the road? She's typing something on the computer. She's looking.
Doing this. Well, she was zigzagging all over the road. That explains a lot. We've seen that before, where we'll be driving along and you'll see a car like zoop, zoop, zoop. One time it was a huge truck pulling a horse trailer, and this truck would drive straight for a while, then it would get right over by the curb, and then it would turn and straighten out, and like the whole trailer was rattling back and forth. And we're driving along, and it's a 2-lane road, so you couldn't easily pass. And I said, I got to get by this guy. I'm like, I don't want to be back here when he rolls this thing. I bet those
poor horses were puking.
Yeah, probably. So anyway, we finally waited till we had a safe place to pass, and we go past this guy. And as we passed, we saw the glow of a cell phone right up by his face. He was watching a movie.
Watching a movie on his phone.
Yeah, there was like a movie playing, or he was watching a video or something. But he's watching this thing when he's supposed to be driving. And I was like, what in the world is he doing? You're going to hurt those horses.
Watching a video on how to properly drive a horse trailer.
Maybe yourself, too. But I'm really concerned about the show horses. Little Brian Regan for you there. All right, and let's end things right here. Lorain, Ohio. Police officer Joseph. I have a brother, Joe. We used to call him Jofus. Joseph Cornucopia pulled over a van because it appeared out of control. He said the driver, Nancy M. Lang, 42, appeared drunk. But if he hadn't noticed that, Lang might have maybe given him a clue when she said, please, give me a break. I'm drunk.
Wow.
After failing a field sobriety test, he told Lang she was under arrest. She protested and said, wait, I can do this. Then proceeded to do jumping jacks and push-ups, even though she wasn't asked to do those. She started to do a cartwheel. That's when Cornucopia said, okay, we're done. For your safety and for mine. She's been charged with speeding, driving under the influence of alcohol, driving with a suspended license, and driving with expired license plates. So
lady.
It wasn't necessarily Nancy's day. Come on, give me a break. I'm drunk. That is, why would you even say that to a police officer?
Yeah.
Even if you were. Well, I guess that's because she was kind of a moron. All right, that's going to do it for a bonus break. Brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Learn more on their website, dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Have a great day.